Hello, both TheSuffolkRam from Rand Nerds. Welcome to my review of Doctor Who Episode 8, Series 9, Part 2 of the Zygon Inversion. As I always say at the start, there may be some minor spoilings ahead, so if you don't want anything spoiled, turn off now. So Zygon Inversion Part 2 takes place literally directly after Part 1, quite obviously. So we ended up with Part 1 on three main cliffhangers. You had Kate Stewart being confronted by a Zygon in Mexico. You had the Doctor on a plane back from Turkmenistan being shot at by a missile fired by a duplicate Clara, and Clara herself trapped in a Zygon pod. So, your three main cliffhangers. All goes off quite neatly. Kate wants you up front until quite later on. You get a feel of what it must supposedly be like inside a Zygon pod. The person sort of living in a strange, almost quite real believable place, but not quite believable. There's like mistakes in it that Clara discovers. Now, I don't know if this is meant to be an example of... They mention that Clara's a very strong-willed person. I don't know if it's meant to be a case of being strong-willed or a case of being affected by time travel. I mean, she's had quite a lot. I mean, she's been time travel. She's been she's been split across time all over the place. It's quite dramatic what she's been through, and I suppose I think reading between the lines, I'm guessing that's what allowed her to resist the Zygon duplication, take control of her duplicates. I don't like it in series when they make the main character special just for being because they're the main character. Always seems slightly odd to me, and it seems slightly bizarre to me that this random person just happens to be really ridiculously strong. I know, so the main character series, you could argue that because they are, that's how they became related and involved with the Doctor or whoever it is. I like to think that it's more a case of she's been affected by the TARDIS, and that's my reading between the lines or my wild ass guess about the whole situation. But she managed to take control of her duplicate, and I quite like the fact that she was able to miss with the first missile, but duplicate just loaded again and managed to fire again. It was quite neat when she tried to do it. She unfortunately almost did it and then failed. I quite like that aspect of almost succeeding but then failing. Obviously, the second missile doesn't hits the plane, destroys it, but the Doctor and Osgood managed to escape. So it then changed to a very different type of episode. Whereas last week's episode was all over the place, you know, we had people from Mexico, Turkmenistan, really globe-trotting episode. This one's actually quite contained. In fact, you spend a large chunk of the latter part of the episode in a small room, in the Black Archive, and quite dramatic, really. I really thought the writing was excellent. I thought the pacing was brilliant. I like the resolution of the plot. I don't really have a great deal of complaints about the whole episode. I thought Kate Stewart, after having a very big part in last week's episode, had a relatively minor part, though she had a big decision towards the end. And the revelation twist involving her was not a big twist to me. I thought I did sort of slightly see it coming, although I did like the sort of callback they'd managed to make towards Doctors and Demons, or Daemons, if you want to use the correct pronunciation. I quite like that. But yeah, overall, I thought the episode was really, really neatly done and really good, and I did really enjoy it, and the premise of it I liked as well. Not so many side characters in this episode, like the previous one. Obviously, Osgood's back, and Osgood has gradually really warmed to me in the last sort of few episodes, and I really quite like her as a character. Wasn't so keen on when I first saw her, but these last few, she's really come through to me, and I really quite like. I enjoy the episode she's in. Jenny Coleman, I'm amazed at how brilliant she did acting wise. I was so surprised, and I'm going to take it back. I always criticise Jenny Coleman's acting ability in Clara. I'm now pretty much convinced it's people can't write Clara very well, because when she's got a decent author behind her, she's actually a really neat actress and really shows what she can do. She showed it last year's episode with Flatline. She showed it a couple of times this year. I really think she's pretty good, and I'm actually changing my opinion of her. I might apologise by the end of the series to her for all the insults I've thrown her way, but really impressed. As I mentioned, Kate Stewart's back in it. Not a great deal involved. I did like her sort of interactions she had in the last sort of bit of the section where they had the big sort of speech and the sort of courtroom thriller style drama. I thought was done very well done, and it was mainly the Doctor talking. There really weren't other main side characters. A lot of big characters in it. Really, it's just Carl and Kate, and obviously Osgood in it as well. And they all, I thought, did a really good job, and they all played off really neatly. I was quite pleased by that. So, yeah, I thought the characters were quite well neatly done, and I quite enjoyed seeing the characters in it. And I do hope we get to see Osgood again, hope to see Kate again, and we need, hopefully, they can carry on with this writing style for Jenny Coleman and let her act and show she can do it, which I'm now starting to believe she can. It's become a bit of a theme, actually, me apologising for Mark previous criticisms, that Peter Harness, who wrote this episode, admittedly with Stephen Moffat helping, and with last week's episode, despite I thought last year's Kill the Moon, which I thought was atrocious, this two-part, I have to say, is really, really good. Really impressed with it. I've loved every minute. I've loved both the first and the second part. I love the first part sort of thriller / action genre. I love the second part's more psychological is a 1-1. I used the phrase courtroom thriller drama earlier, and that's the best I can describe it as. I thought that was really well done, and I liked it. And so Peter Harness, I have to say, has written a good couple of episodes. I don't know how much Steve Moffat was involved with this, but he has written a very good couple of episodes. Not really much special effects in it, to be fair, so not really much to talk about there. Not really much up production. I mean, I like some of the neat tricks they put in. They put one of the helmets from the monsters, which I did remember before I started recording this, but I've forgotten. The monsters from the girl who died. They'll come to me, I'm sure, later on. I love that they put one of the helmets in there just to sort of show a bit of continuity. I thought it was a neat little touch up and add on. And I thought the actual resolution of it was really well done. So, production-wise, there's not really a lot to talk about, to be fair. I thought it was done very well. Good little episode. So my final thoughts, I thought Zygon Inversion was excellent. We're now 2/3 way through this series, and everything's been perfect so far. I've not really had any real complaints. Perhaps the woman who died was not good as it could be, but overall it's been very enjoyable. I'm really actually struggling to pick fault so far this season. It's such a pity that season's had a bit of lower ratings. Or I think, and Peter Coy actually agrees with me with this, that part of it is because it's been put in such a stupid time slot. And it moves around every week. Every week's at a different time. No wonder they're losing ratings. People keep coming in trying to schedule their time to watch it, and it moves around. It's ridiculous. BBC sort it out. Just every other TV channel in the world seems to manage this. At this time, this programme's broadcast. Come on, BBC, sort it out. One thing I have noticed is I thought it was going to be an overwhelming arc of a hybrid done on Gallifrey. It was mentioned in the very first episode, and apart from a couple of hints to it, there's a hint last week where Osgood mentioned that she's effectively a hybrid between Zygons and humans, and a couple of sort of subtle hints towards it with the hybrid, I suppose, technology between Ashhalda and the technology from the race, I name I can't remember. Hasn't really been a lot of mention of this, whether it's been very low key or whether it's been semi-forgotten about. I noticed this last series as well. I felt that they seemed to forget about the arc at some point, and there was no sort of hints of it, and just seemed to be pushed to the back. And this one does feel similar, that they seem to be forgetting about it. So I'm wondering if there is even an arc at all, and if there is, whether they've patched the same up for a future series. I'm sure we'll find out as time goes on. But yeah, we'll see what comes of it. Next episode looks like an interesting one. Looks sort of mad scientist stuck on a spaceship who's developed some technology that's created a monster. I'm thinking the Lazarus Experiment. I repeat, Mark Gatiss is involved in it as well, and he also wrote the Lazarus Experiment. No, tell her he did not. He starred in it. I made a mistake there. He did not write it. I apologise, but he was in it. So interested to see how that sort of carries on. But I do like Mark Gatiss's episodes. I always think they are. I always like his episodes, so I'm looking forward to next week's. So overall, I thought it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. This is going to be This is going to be a cracking season. Even if the rest of the season's shit, I don't care. I've had a good 2/3 at the start. So I've been TheSuffolkRam. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in next week's episode of View. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel and you will see more views. I'm trying to work on some more projects I'm going to try and put up and find a few ideas of like projects I want to do. So I'm hoping to get those up sort of soonish when I get around to sort of recording them. But so channel, we do reviews, let's plays, and we do podcasts when we sort of get together to record them amongst ourselves. And yeah, it's good old stuff. So please join us for those and enjoy them. So I've been TheSuffolkRam. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.